Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. Just gonna wait for other people to jump on tonight. How are you? It's Sunday evening, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little bit chilly. So I've got this very comfortable, oversized jacket that I found in the kitchen. I think it's my son's. He's like 6'2", and I thought I might just get myself comfortable and just put that on tonight. It's a little bit chilly for me. So let me know where you're hailing from. Welcome to the Atomic Self-Love Project. So got Madeline, Jason, Angela. Hi, beautiful. And tell me what's been going on for you guys. This is my fourth live show on the Atomic Self-Love Project here on Spiritual Events Directory in the last 7 days. And it's only supposed to be once a week, but a couple of the other ladies on the other days, something came up for them. And so we kind of like fill in for one another when we can't make it to our shows. So I've been filling in for Donna as well as for Jess. And it's been quite fun, just really sharing so much of me. I'm actually feeling quite blessed that I find that you ladies and gentlemen are very open and very courageous in just addressing what's in your thoughts. And I encourage you to continue to explore that kind of vulnerability and openness. Having said that, it's getting a bit warm for me now. And so, hello from Greece, Maria. Hi, what's the time in Greece? Is it around, I'd make a guess, probably mid-morning? Um, because we're about 9 hours ahead of United Kingdom. So it'll be about, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning in UK. And so I don't know in Greece. Tonight, we are going to talk about how to heal from toxic love. And the reason that I wanted to really explore this is because we've been talking about how to break the cycle of toxic relationship free 5-day challenge starting tomorrow. Now, if you are someone who want to have a chance to heal your life and live your purpose, there is a potential that you could win one of the seats in my group coaching program if you want to join the free 5-day challenge starting tomorrow, which is a challenge on breaking the cycle of toxic relationships. Now, last Sunday, we talked about the 5 catastrophic effects of toxic relationships, and we talked about inside of that group as well the different addictions inside of the toxic relationship, and whether you are the one who's addicted to something or they are the one or both of you. And addiction is not just substance or food or sex even. It can be behaviors, and they are these addictions in a toxic relationship we're going to go deep dive into inside the free 5-day challenge. And what I want to give to someone is that the person who's going to be most engaged and the person who's really have going to have the most number of personal breakthroughs in the challenge for the entire 5 days, when they show that they're so committed to really breaking that cycle, I'm going to give that person a chance for a free seat in my group coaching program. But I'd love for you guys to jump on, because even if you have never experienced a toxic relationship, chances are you know someone that's important to you or someone that you care about that's either going through currently in a toxic relationship or is in and out of cycles of toxic relationships. That could be a family member, a friend, one of your children, one of your siblings. So important. Now, for those of you who have never listened to me before, welcome again. I just want to introduce, it's 12:18. Maria, is it 12:18 in the morning or 12:18 at noontime? I'd say noontime. Yeah, yeah, because you're not in the USA, it's in Europe. Okay, wow, cool. Well, welcome. Let me know what is it like, excuse me, So it'll be about spring in Greece, coming into summer. Nice. Okay, so now what I wanted to say is just a little bit of an introduction about me. I'm an author. I wrote the book Become the Woman of Your Dreams. It's an Amazon bestseller released in 2020, and it's a memoir. Now, this memoir is a hybrid of telling you the story of my life, and it's a brave book because excuse me, it's got to tickle my throat. It's a brave book because it's the very first alrighty. When I can stop coughing, I'll talk. All right, so as I was saying, the book is very brave because it's the very first book that's ever been written about this a true story of abandonment in the Philippines. So I was born and raised in the Philippines. And when I was 5 years old, I was abandoned in a house where I didn't know what was happening. It was a house of a relative, and for a long time, I was exposed to different types of toxicity in relationships. And that's all I've ever known, right? So sometimes, more often, what we know is what we live and what we model to. And so I didn't know that my knowledge and my beliefs of what a relationship is and what a partnership is, I didn't know that it was handicapped, to say the least. I didn't know that it was screwed up, to be quite blunt about it. And so when I was 24 and met the man who was going to be my husband, who's my ex-husband now, I then started my own cycles of toxic relationships. Now, I need to let you know that there are so many smart and successful women out there that go into toxic love. And I was one of them. Like, I could do whatever I put my mind into. I traveled the world with my kids. I was really good at my career. I can do whatever I want. But for the life of me, the one thing that I really wanted, which was true love, I just could not, for some reason, feel it, achieve it, keep it, sustain it. It was always spiraling down on me. So I went into cycles. And when I say cycles, one relationship after another, after another, after another, until one day in 2013, I had a near death experience. Mind you, it was my second near death experience, the first one being like a suicide attempt way back before. But in the second one is in 2013, that was the start of my spiritual awakening. Like, I got to think, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like, something is not working. And this was the time when I really started to look into the cycles, the pattern. And when I say cycles and pattern, it's not just of the people that I've been with and of the relationship itself, but the cycles that go through here in my own mind, and the cycles of my emotions in my heart and how much it had shut down on me, and the cycles of the behavior, cycles of the injuries and the illnesses that I was experiencing. The awakening just really pushed me into a trajectory that I had no choice but to face my transformation. And a transformation that was pretty radical. It was so radical that I eventually decided one day I need to leave my career so that I can follow the path that I feel that I need to help other people with. And so this is what I do now. After writing the book as an author, as a transformational coach, I've since helped women to create long-lasting, deep and meaningful relationships in their lives. And I'm not talking just romantic ones, but also inside of their families and in their businesses. And so I want to share that with you. I wanted to share that with you because I feel that the truth is this: you have a full potential that is so far away from you right now. If you are in cycles of toxic relationship, because in every cycle that you immerse yourself into, you push that purpose away from you. You create a bigger distance, when really your job is supposed to be to bridge the gap between yourself and your life purpose, your calling, your true north, whatever you call it, right? But these cycles, take you away from those. So the distance is bigger and bigger and bigger until you lose hope, you lose yourself, you just give up. And that's the most dangerous thing of all, as I've been talking about in this spiritual events directory for the entire week. The most dangerous, the deadliest catastrophe that a toxic relationship can give you, it's not the illness, it's not the paranoia, it's not the shutting down of the heart. They are deadly, but the deadliest one is that you are most likely to repeat this cycle over and over again if you don't address it. And when you repeat it over and over again, you can end up most likely just like how I ended up, a near death experience. And here's the thing, you have a 50-50 chance. You may not make that near death experience. It could be a death experience. And that's my passion, is that you don't get to that point. You don't get to that radical time when, it's either you die or you have a second chance. It's so radical. You don't need to get there. We can break the cycle. Now, Jason is asking, is your program for men and women? Look, Jace, to be honest with you, I've been helping women so far, so that's what I can say. But I'll leave the judgment for you. If you wanna talk deeper with me as to what you need and what's going on for you, send me a private message. I don't know if you can actually see. So it's Grace Harris, transformational coach. So search that up on Facebook and go into my personal profile, because then I will see a message there that's coming from someone that I don't know. And we can have a 15-minute breakthrough call just to see what you need. Because if I'm not the right coach for you, Jason, I know some people. Because I'm not gonna, I'm not here to say to you that I can't help you, but I have been helping women because it's my passion. So send me up a message. Let's see where you are. Yeah. Okay. So I've got Maria said, spring hasn't quite sprung. It's still cold. Alrighty, let's get started. Who wants to get started on how to heal toxic love? Give me a yes on the chat. I'm actually 5 to 10 seconds behind you guys, but let me see. Just say yes. Let's go into healing toxic love. So Sarah says she's from Australia. Me too. I'm in the mountains called Terranora, here on the border of New South Wales and Queensland. Where are you guys from? I'd love to know. Okay, so now, about toxic love or toxic relationship. Simply put, what is a toxic relationship? It's any kind of relationship with ideally 2 or more partners, because you can't have a relationship with just yourself. Well, you can, but it's always going to be a solo one. So we're talking about a relationship involving other people here. So a toxic relationship is 2 or more parties that manipulate, victimize, vilify, use, confuse, and damage one another intentionally as well as intentionally. And as a matter of fact, it's always, unintentionally, in a way that they're unaware. Narcissist people are unaware that they are causing problems. That's why it's called unintentional, but that it doesn't justify it, right? So these relationships, toxic relationships, they can be romantic, they can be familial, they can be business, they can be work. But I think that most of us here in Spiritual Events Directory are talking about romantic relationships, but toxicity is in every type of relationship. By the way, some of you are watching this on 2 other different pages, which is the Grace Harris and the Grace Harris Transformational Coach. Just to let you know, I'm not going to see your comments there, so I encourage you to jump into Spiritual Events Directory where I can see your comments, because I'm just monitoring Spiritual Events Directory just for the sake of this live show. So Jody says she's in Bow Desert, not too far away from me. How is your weather up here? So I've got Maria from, Maria's from WA originally, but living in Greece. Nice. So Donna's from Perth. Catherine's from Hill Bay. Whereabouts is that? No, Sarah's from Catherine Hill Bay. Whereabouts is that, Sarah? I don't know, sorry. Would love to know. I've only ever been on the East Coast of Australia in the last 21 years. Oops, really need to go visit the West Coast. So how do you heal from toxic love? from the damage, the victimization, the manipulation, the vilification, the confusion, that is intentionally and unintentionally given to one another by two or more parties in a relationship. Mind you, a threesome, for example, a love triangle, that can be toxic as anything. So it's not just sometimes two, it can be two or more people. Now, how do you heal from it? First of all, before you even talk about how do you heal from it, first you must you must at least be aware, what does it do to you? What does it do to you? And we've covered this in the last few days in this space, but briefly I'm going to just run them through again. What does a toxic love do to you? Number one, it shuts your heart down. You lose trust on other people, and eventually you lose trust on yourself. You don't really know who you are anymore. I tell this story about one time when I was in a cafe with my partner. We love acai bowl, so this was like our acai bowl after our walk in the morning. And there was these two ladies ordering after us, and there was this big menu on top of the wall, and these two ladies were ordering. The first lady ordered, and then she said to the girlfriend, "I'm gonna go to toilet." And the second girlfriend stood there, and then this chick on the counter taking the orders, she said, "What can I get you?" And this second lady just stood there frozen. She said, "I'm going to wait for my girlfriend to choose for me because I'm not really good at making decisions." And you know what? My heart went out to her, because it's a classic sign of losing trust on yourself. You can't even make small decisions, let alone big ones, because you don't trust yourself anymore, that you might make a wrong decision. Your heart just shuts down on food. How sad is that? Like, I'll be up there going, "Oh, I want this and this and this and this." Like, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that shut down mode your heart is. And the second thing that a toxic love can do to you is it poisons your mind. It pretty much screws up your belief system. You start to believe that people are after you, out to get you, like you are always dubious and suspicious, even of the ones that you can really trust, even of the ones that you really love, that really love you. You become anxious, paranoid, and even might try to take your life away, like I did. This was my first near-death experience. After swallowing some pills, I woke up in a hospital bed 3 days later on. I had no recollection of the 72 hours that I was away. I was lucky. I was lucky. I was lucky. Yeah. That's why now I think about that time, like, I'm not going to waste this life just doing something for the sake of paying bills. I have a calling to actually share my experiences and the healing part of it, especially on breaking the cycle. So that's the second catastrophic effect of what toxic love does to you. The third one, I'm going to run them through quickly, is that it weakens your immune system. You're always sick. And there are so many chronic illnesses that we don't know where they really came from, and we try and search for all the healing modalities that we can find, because science and medication and medicine is not working anymore. And we spend years trying to find out why and what we can do. It's because your immune system is so weak, because your mind is poisoned, your heart is shut down, your body is communicating to you there is something that you have to radically change. And the fourth thing that a toxic love can do to you is you isolate yourself, you alienate yourself to the people that care about you. It's like the elephant in the room. Everybody knows that you're going through this thing, the toxic love, but no one really wants to talk about it because you're so stubborn. And not because you're so stubborn because you're just stubborn per se, but that's because you've lost the confidence. You don't even know how to open up. It's just that isolation and alienation becomes your friend, which is very sad. And the fifth thing that it can really do to you that's so deadly is that if you don't address this cycle, this vicious cycle, you are gonna be in that vicious cycle for a long time, until something happens that you either have a near-death experience, you just survive by the thread, or you actually pass away. I mean, that's the truth of it. I don't mean to sound macabre or brutal, but it's happened to me 2 times, and it's just the truth of the matter. And so, how do you heal from toxic love? Now, let me just see. Yeah, so there are 3 things basically, and let me check the time. So we are going well. I'm gonna also be open to questions. If you do have a particular question, this is a session where I can actually answer questions because I'm gonna run through the topic fairly quickly, and I'd prefer to actually address personal questions about what they're going through right now in terms of toxic love. So the table is open for questions, and I'm going to use my intuition on how I can help you at this moment in time. Okay, so how do you heal from toxic love? There are 3 elements that you really need to be very, very committed to to actually manifesting, to creating that for your healing. And the caveat for healing in toxic love is that there is no shortcut. Now, I just want to say to you that the reason that you have been in a toxic cycle is because of all the decades of experiences, unconscious belief systems that you've inherited from the people that raised you, from the people that you love, from the people that surrounded you. And so that is an unconscious belief. And therefore, you've spent such a long time in order to manifest this toxic cycle. And to heal, it's not going to be a quick process. And therefore, the first element that you need in order to heal from toxic love is time. Time is the first element that you really have to come square with. And when I say time, it means that I speak to a lot of people that ask questions like, oh, I just love him so much. I love my we call it a narc for short. It's a narcissist in the relationship, aka the person that's vilifying you, victimizing you, oppressing you. And some women say, I love my narc so much, and I know that I can't fix him, and I'm still in the cycle. I really want to get out, but I'm just so in love with him. I don't know how to get out. And I hear that. Okay. But here's the thing, you need to understand, and I can only come from my truth here, and if I sound a little bit callous sometimes, I apologize. I don't mean to be callous to you, because I have been there. I have been there, beautiful. I was at a very vulnerable stage many, many, many years ago, without no one to run to and no one to tell how I was really feeling. But here's the truth. When you're in that moment, when you're saying, I just love him, I can't leave him, I know he's there's no hope, but I just my heart, and just these emotions, I need to remind you that time is something that needs to expand for you. Every time you say, I love him, I can't leave him, it's so hard to break away from the cycle, I don't know how to stop him from communicating with me, you are constricting your time. You're going back into that little nutshell where there is no light. You need to expand your time. All you need to say to yourself when you're in that constricted mode and you can't get out, you just have this need, this urgency to see him, to text him, to hear his voice, to see him at the door knocking, to just have this validation that you're still connected somehow. When you're in that moment, you just I need you to remind yourself, time is my friend. Because it becomes an irony, because the longer that you are away from your narc, the more that your addiction will call upon you and say, I need to see him, I need to talk to him, where's his text message, I need to look at his photo, let me just check out his Facebook, what he's doing, you know what I mean, let me just unblock him, let's just see, maybe he's changed. That kind of addiction to the cycle. You need to just keep reminding yourself, time is my friend. I need to expand the time. It's going to take time to heal, and I need to be patient with myself. You need a long time to be away. You need a long time to you need to lengthen that time. If you come to a moment when you just don't think you can handle it any longer, that separation from your narcissist, when you think that you can't take it anymore, you just want to see him again, yes you can, yes you can. And if it's just, if you're in dire strait, call a friend, call me, like send me a message, like someone except for your narc. Like this is so important. That's why, you know, that's why a community is just so important, because that's going to bring you out of your darkness. When you think that you're on the verge of just grabbing your phone, let me just text him, and you know what I mean, call someone, call a friend, call Lifeline, you know, 13, is it 132221, call 000 if you're in America, call 91, oh no, if you're here, or 911, call someone. And even if they say, okay, you can't call me because it's not life threatening, just say, well, tell me a number that I can call. Just not your narc, right? Just time. I know I'm banging the point here, but I can't say this enough. How many times, raise your hand, how many times have you fallen back into the cycle of, let me just say hello? And the next thing, that one little hello had cost you another few months of grief, another few $1,000s of I don't know how much money he's voting you for, you know, another few years of therapy. So time is an element that you really need to heal for yourself from toxic love. I cannot say this enough. And time is given to you when you call, you know, when you call someone, you just say, I need time. I need to lengthen the time that I'm away. Talk to me, say something to me. So before I go on to the second element, there's only three elements to heal toxic love. In saying that, it's a big discussion. That's why we're gonna have this free 5-day challenge. Let me see if there is any question that's been posted here. Nicole says, what's this? It's my first time watching this live. Nicole, we're talking about how to heal from toxic love. So this is called the Atomic Self-Love Project, but I am running a free 5-day challenge starting tomorrow on how to break the cycle of toxic relationships. The link is above this video. If you're someone who suffered from this before or suffering from it now, it's something that you might want to join. If you've never suffered from one before, it's important to learn as well, because chances are someone that you know or care about is going through this, and you can potentially save their life and their future. So Raylene, the hook digs deeper. The hook digs deeper when you're thinking maybe he'll change, or he will change now that we are married, kids, mortgage, etc. Yeah, the hook is actually something that you kind of like sculpt yourself. You know, the birth of the hook is in our mind, because the heart, so this is the actual mechanic of the hook. So your heart shuts down on you lose your trust on yourself, you lose your connection to yourself, your intuition is not working. So all that you're really relying upon is your brain, which is now poisoned by all the negative comments, the put downs. And so in your brain you are sculpting this hook, which is aka, you know, what are the reasons that I should stay here? And so you look for these hooks for yourself. And so yes, they are, you know, baiting you, and they are manipulating you, but you have to bear in mind that you are always the creator of your destiny. You are always the one responsible for your reality. And this is why it's not about breaking the narcissist in your toxic relationship or breaking the relationship. This is about breaking the cycle of toxic relationship. And however that looks like, I cannot tell you. Whether that looks like breaking the narcissist, I don't recommend that, because you could go to jail. Or whether that looks like breaking the actual relationship, that is completely up to you. But it's about breaking the cycle. We are digging deep into the cycle. What is in the cycle? And what is your contribution to that? And how can you reshape your future? So Jason, sorry to interrupt. How do I PM you? I tried by searching your name on Facebook. And okay, how do you PM me? Let me well, Search Grace Harris, author and transformational coach page. That you'll find me there. Okay. All right. So Nick says great topic, and Nicole says even though you try to tell yourself positive things, how do you help the pain go away? Okay. Yeah. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. Nicole, so this is Nicole Smith. I want to repeat her question. So even though you try to tell yourself positive things and you speak to yourself, you psych yourself up to be strong, how do you help the pain go away? And Nicole, number one, what I want to honor you for is that your heart is not completely shut down if you're feeling pain. Because you know when your heart is shut down and when it's a little bit numb, like you don't really care, or you don't trust, and you kind of like don't even like yourself. But when you're feeling pain, I want to just acknowledge that your heart is still a little bit open, if not a lot open. So try and here's what you can do is own the pain. Okay, don't block the pain. The first step of truly loving who you are is loving your vulnerability and loving your own weakness. The first step to finding your true strength is knowing what your weaknesses are. So embrace the pain. I mean, I'm not gonna swear, but if it hurts so effing much, how I've done this myself is and I'll show you. I don't know if you've done this, if you've started to do this, but I have truckloads, like boxes of journals. And as you know, I've written a book, so I am a writer by nature. You don't have to be someone who writes well, but journals, and I teach this transformative journaling. Journals saved my life. When I was in the darkest times of my life, I would just write the pain. And I don't hide anything from my journal. I would write every single pain, every single dark thought. If that dark thought is, I want to hurt someone, so be it. It's just a thought. Your thoughts are not you, Nicole. Your thoughts are a product of your belief systems, of your upbringing. It is not your soul. So you have to remember, your soul is outpouring to the journal, and it's outpouring the energy, the negative energy of your thought. So pour them out to your journal, every pain, until you are so exhausted you just want to go lie down and cry yourself to sleep. Pour out your pain. Don't run to him and say, oh, I'm in pain, I need some love, I need some comfort, please hug me, please make love to me. Please don't do that, because you're just gonna be asking for more pain. Embrace your own pain by yourself. If you have to do that with a glass of wine, well, please, so be it. I have to admit that some of the darkest times of my life, I enjoyed a glass of two of Moscato, because it was just, it just took the edge off. I'm not encouraging you to immerse yourself into alcohol. Absolutely not. But sometimes it could be music, sometimes if you love to eat cake, have a piece of cake or two, just to reward yourself for immersing into the pain. Immerse into the pain, and you will find, Nicole, is that the pain will go away once you've actually dumped it down. Dump it down. And if you don't really like writing, if you just say to me, I really don't like writing, I don't like journaling, well, there's a couple of other options. So what you can do is you can get your phone. There's a thing here called voice memo. You press the voice memo app, and then you record, yourself just dumping into the voice memo and just record your pain. If your pain is crying out loud like a banshee, cry out loud like a banshee. Read my book, Become the Woman of Your Dreams, and you'll find different ways that I really dumped out my pain in there. It's a memoir. It's like really, it's not a how-to book. It's a story book. So it's available on Amazon. Become the Woman of Your Dreams by Grace Harris. And so, and the third thing that you can dump is, if you don't like to journal, if you don't like the voice memo, call someone that you trust. And usually that's someone that is out of the relationship, probably someone who's really detached from the relationship, and someone who can just listen without giving you any biases or prejudices. I will strongly recommend Lifeline. I know sometimes they can be a little bit distant, but that's what you need. Someone to just say, you're okay, tell me more. They're not gonna, say, just dump it out, baby. That's how I'm gonna, that's the that's the safest way. Do I have any other questions? Let me just see. Marie says, I love journaling. I have boxes full, box full back at home. Yeah, it's beautiful practice, isn't it? It's part of my daily practice now, part of my divination practice as well. So that's another thing that I show people how to transform their life in 30 days using transformative journaling. Now, the second element, let me go to the second element of how to heal toxic love is it's similar to time, but it's not linear. So time is linear, right? So there's a today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. That's that. There's that point. That's like it's you can count it, right? So you know exactly what is the length of time. I'm going to tell you, it takes a long time to heal, but there's a way to enjoy that long time. Now, the second element is not linear, but it's similar to time, and it's called space, right? So space, tell me what you think about space, ladies. So space, personal space, emotional space, mental space, physical space. The first space that you need to mind is physical space, physical distancing, not because of COVID, but it's because of narcissism, toxicity, manipulation, confusion, vilification, damage in a relationship. Physical distancing. So I just want to, while I'm on the show, if anyone here, is a police officer or related or know people who are police officers, I want to just honor the people, especially around my area. Years and years ago, they really helped me create the space, the physical distancing that I needed from my most toxic love affair. And the first time that I tried to file, what do you call it? It's called. Hang on, it's in my brain. It's called the AVO. Oh my God, I can't remember what AVO means. Apprehended violation order. Yes. So the first time that I tried to apply for that, I broke it myself. And this is me being vulnerable with you guys. So I filed for it because I wanted to start breaking the cycle, but I couldn't. I was too weak, and I broke the AVO myself. But the second time, and I need to honor the police officers who just really, helped me so much. The second time, and this is after my near-death experience, I learned, I became an expert on it. Like you could have, if you're someone who can't do it on your own, because I didn't have family, right? All my family, they're in the Philippines. I can't call an uncle or a dad or a brother to be bodyguard for me and block the toxic or the guy. I didn't have any. Well, I had an ex-husband, but I was too shy to ask for his help because I didn't want him to say something like "I freaking told you so" or something like that. And so I knew in the second time that I was filing this AVO that there is a chance that I might still weaken. So I thought I'm going to need some professional help. And who else is more professional than police officers? So I asked them to put the most restrictive violation orders on it. And then it was, and it really gave me the space. It gave me the space because what happens is that whenever I found myself being stalked by the person, when I was getting stalked on the phone, on text message, in person, I could ask someone what to do, how to keep my space, how to maintain my space. And because I was able to establish the immediate physical distancing, I was able to create the space for my emotional and my mental mindset to heal. So you're gonna need the space around you. And yeah, some people move countries. I moved country when I was 20 something because I needed space from my original narcissistic relationships. These are people that are, been very, very influential when I was a young person and have subjected to me to many different types of trauma and of abuse. And, which now I have come full circle to. And I know that those were necessary for me so I can be of service to the calling that I'm called upon to do. But it takes a long time to heal. So I had to move country. Part of the reason why I moved country is to create that space so far away that I could not be in not just in 100 miles away from them, but different country. So whatever it is that you have to do, whether that is a different town, a different postcode, um, so that is space, very different to time. Time you can measure, but space, it's really that. How do you know if you have emotional and mental space? Okay, so the biggest determining factor that you feel that you have so much space and you have so much mentally and emotionally is that you feel a lot calmer. The energy and the vibration you can feel. You're not tensed, you're not panicking, you're not anxious. And so yeah, so because you know that you are safe. And this might take a long time for you, but it takes discipline to actually create this element. Remember, it is an element. It's like creating an actual. So one of the basic elements of life is fire, right? So it's like creating the element, like creating the element of fire. You have to be patient. In the old days, they have to do this thing, rubbing their. Yeah, so you create these elements to heal from toxic love, create the space, create the time, because these are the things that are taken away from you by your narcissist. You have got no time for yourself. You have got no space for yourself, because if they dared gave you that, the time and the space, you're not going to be in that toxic love. You're going to be off following your life purpose and living your dream. But because you don't have time and space to be by yourself and to know exactly who you are and what you're really truly capable of, you are stuck in this darkness. So create the elements of time and space in order that you can start to reconnect with yourself. I'm going to move on to the third element that you need to create to heal from toxic love. But before that, I'm just going to have a look at a couple of questions that I can see on the chat popping up. Just bear with me. So have Tina Peterson. Codependent narcissist in the big family because alcohol and okay, I think you're typing too fast, Tina, so I can't really understand. No contact, alcohol. Okay, I'm not sure if you're posing a question, Tina. But yeah. So, try again. But if you are telling me something about your journey, I'm picking up something here that you're in a process where you have started to try and extricate yourself from a cycle, but there's some complications happening for you. And yeah, tell me more. Oh, okay. So it's a troll. Okay. Thanks, Raylene. Right. Let's block that. Okay. Now, so let's go into the actual third element of healing from toxic love. And this is the most exciting part, ladies. If you're still here with me, I honor you for sticking around, because this is the most exciting part. And so once you create the elements of time and space, this is how you start to have a glimpse of the third element. And it's funny because this element has always been with us since we were born, but this is the element of purpose. I'm just going to say that again. Beautiful word, purpose. The element of purpose. And so I did this talk live on stage in Brisbane in February 2020 about finding your purpose. And the thing about purpose is that most of us, everyone seems to, well, not everyone, but most of us seem to have this impression that purpose is a big, faraway thing that we need to uncover, we need to realize, we need to see, we need to like follow. Like it's so unachievable that we are more often than not, we just kind of like give up on it. That is the myth about purpose, because your purpose is already here. Your purpose is evolving. So right now, in the cycle of toxic relationship that you are in, your purpose is to reconnect with yourself. Your purpose is to create the time element and the space element so that you can evolve into your full potential. And that's what it is, isn't it? The purpose is to evolve into our full potential. I'll give you an example. So when a baby is born, so the baby's purpose when it goes out from the womb of the mother, the first purpose is to breathe in the first airful of the first air into their lungs, right? And then the purpose of the baby is to become stronger so that they can learn to walk, like they can learn to talk, they can learn to play, they can learn to explore. And their purpose is just so immersive that they don't really care about anything else. They just have this full curiosity, right? And then as we grow older, our purpose evolves um, into into forming our belief systems, into becoming someone that's opinionated, and forming us our judgments as to what do I want to be when I grow up. So our purpose is to have some kind of direction. And when you become a mother, for example, when you're giving birth, your only purpose on that moment is to push that baby out. Nothing else. It's do or die. That's it. That's your purpose at that moment. I mean, you can't argue that. Like, you're not going to care about anything else, but just to do this one thing now, to give birth. And then once the baby is out, your purpose evolves so quickly. Have you ever, who's a mother here? Because have you ever, notice, like, it's so you go through labor, right? Like, I know I went through 4 days of labor with my first child, like, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so intense. So like, oh my god, it's so painful. And it was like all they scream and go. I remember when I was in the hospital, I was on labor, and it was nighttime, and I was the only one in the room, but I was hearing all these other screams from different rooms, all these different women also trying to give birth, and I'm like, holy moly. This giving birth caper is really painful because we were all like screaming to the top of our lungs. And so sometimes you feel like, oh my god, can I do this pain? It's so painful. But it's your purpose to push that baby out. And have you ever noticed, once the baby is out, baby, like this baby, you forget the whole pain. Like, you don't even think about it. It's gone. Like, all that matters is this beautiful child, because the purpose had evolved yet again, just like that. Our purpose has become that I have this baby, I'm now a mother. You know what I mean? Like, the purpose is to be, it's just to be one with your full potential. And the operative word is always the potential. You know, it's not like when you reach this purpose, that is it, it's fixed, it's not going to change. It's a potential, and the purpose is to be one with that full potential. And right now, if you're in a toxic love, your purpose is to create that time element and the space element so that you can reconnect to yourself and see that bright light to your full potential. You know, you can call full potential any other way. It's your future self, your true north, your purpose, your focus, your big why, God's calling, whatever that looks like or sound like to you. That is the element of purpose, the trifecta of healing yourself from toxic love, creating the elements of time, space, and your purpose. Now, the next question, though, is now that you know these elements that you have to create for yourself to heal from toxic love, the next bigger problem is that, okay, exactly how do I do that? Like, what happens when I feel this way and I go into the trap of, and I go back again, like two steps up and three steps up and two steps down? Where do I get help? And how do I find support? Well, I'm glad you asked, because there is there is a community for you. I've created a community called the the Cycle of Toxic Relationships free 5-day challenge starting tomorrow at 8 o'clock Sydney time. So the link is above this video. I'm actually going to put that link right now on the comments here so that you guys can participate. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this call, in this 5-day challenge, someone who's going to be so engaged and will have the most breakthrough, the most personal breakthrough, the most vulnerable, the most courageous for the entire 5 days is going to win, potentially going to win a seat in my group coaching program. And so, if I don't have any questions, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And I thank you again for joining me on the Atomic Self Love Project. My name is Grace Harris. I will see you on Sunday next week at 7:15 same time. See you inside the challenge as well. Have a good night, everyone.